Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We are back in it, baby. Ready to go. We got some movement overnight. Should be a exciting week. So let's get it. Good morning, Paul, Roberta, Oceans, Yas, Bill. It is good to see you guys. And we are right on a key level too. So if we break below this, it is going to be a bearish day, my friends. Good morning, Neil. Hey, Squid. This should be a very, very interesting week with tariffs going into effect in 2 days. Very strong selling last week, right at a key level. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get crazy. Right now, we don't really have a trend to trade. Certainly, we would be leaning towards the downside. But again, we do need to see this key level tested, right? If we're going to get any selling pressure, it needs to be below that area. So 55.62 is what we're looking at. Hope everyone's good and ready to go. You know, as always, don't jump into anything. Let's wait for some confirmation. Wait to see what the bias looks like here. NQ bouncing up off the bottom of that range. And now NQ breaking below. We're almost at that overnight low level. Sellers are coming out to play right off the get-go here. Morning, Tom. So, yeah, we'll be watching NQ especially. If it remains bearish, it's going to take the market down with it. Could be a possible little overshoot on this move down. Watching that closely. S&P still making a move towards that overnight low. Wow, Nasdaq is relentless this morning. And I don't even think we have any levels anywhere even close. So this is the low of the year. We could just enter a vacuum here. Big gap down too. Yeah, if we're going to find any support, like we would have to be looking like last fall, September or something like that is really the only thing that I'm seeing on a daily chart. Otherwise, nothing even close. S&P is right at the overnight low. So this is a good spot to wait and check for confirmation. This whole move right off the open can definitely be a bear trap. So be careful. Just because it starts to look good, you know, people think the world's ending, everyone starts shorting, and then we get a massive bounce. So be careful here. That also doesn't mean buy though, right? So far we want to be on the selling side. We just need more confirmation. Okay, there's the bit of a bounce. Which is what we would expect right at that overnight low. Plus, this downtrend has two legs. We would expect the buyers to try something. If they can't get off the deck and we keep dropping, we're going to have to look at some sort of wider pattern like this. Right, the balance, and we're coming back to this key level, which is the low from middle of March on ES. Unbroken low until today. So we have a break from it. Here we're getting the retest. And I could take a short off this level. If we get two tests of it. And it continues to hold as resistance. We have that first move down there. See if we come back to the moving average. Hey, morning, Archer. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get that second test at the EMA. Looks like we might be pushing towards that new low. Looks a little better on NQ. Still haven't got back to the moving average yet, but got one rejection from it, coming back for that second. We'll be watching this closely. I like that bar right there. I like that bar. Just don't want it to get too big. Now, kind of doji finish. Not going to take that. Might work, but you want to see some strong conviction here. ES is back at the EMA. We have not yet had a new low there, so we still can consider the short. We need to see some rejection though. I like that bar. It's a little big. Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's closing on its low. Ooh, it kind of did. Shoot. Too late now. It's going without us. So hopefully you guys got that one. Faked me out there. It looked like it was going to close up here for a doji, but it ended up closing on its low. So you know, it's a little bit of a risk. It's kind of a big bar, but you have enough room to get several points out of that. So hopefully some of you guys are able to capitalize on that. And while I was watching that on the ES, NQ did have a little bit of a setup too. Could have taken this bar. You had to pull back. First attempt lower, pull back. That second attempt didn't, you know, this bar was a doji, but then you had a second chance right there. You were already able to scalp out. So a couple decent opportunities there. Happened quick. All right, so the S&P has had a low. We had this move down, break new low. That is when we need to stop looking for shorts, expecting a correction by the bulls. And again, if we're not able, if this correction is not able to get off the ground at all, we're going to be trading this wider channel. Continuing to look for shorts. That's where I would lean that we have a pattern like this. I think that's pretty likely, but we'll see. I don't know if that we can really, oh yeah, we could probably have a wider pattern on NQ. Doesn't look great. Already kind of looks like an overshoot, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. Either way, we're waiting on the short here. Yeah, so market keeps going down. We'll definitely be using that wider channel there. Hey, Alberta. And as far as the day here, we don't have any scheduled news that's going to have any effect on the market. Of course, always looking out for tweets, keeping our news exchange, our news feed open, because this is a pretty news sensitive market. So anything that comes out on tariffs, etc., the market's going to be very responsive to. But as far as like economic releases, we don't really have anything. But yeah, this wider channel is looking good. Clearly a bearish bias. Now we're just waiting for a pullback so we can get short again. Still don't really have a great way to draw a larger channel on NQ. This doesn't fit super well, but it's clear again that there's a strong bearish bias there. So either way, we're looking for an opportunity to short. Coming back to the moving average. Here we go. Let's look for some rejection here. Okay, we're back almost at the moving average here. Didn't quite get our test. We'll see what NQ provides. we have that first move down. We're just looking for that second pullback. Bearish bar, rejecting the EMA. S&P as well has had first move back, first attempt down. Looking for that second move back. We may have a deeper correction here since we haven't really had a correction today. So cautious with that, kind of anticipating that might be the case. And that is what it looks like is happening here. This still could reject hard and we'll short it, but I have a feeling this is going to continue to pop up for a little bit. Close above the moving average. We still have not really retested. Well, I guess on the S&P we did retest that key level. NQ hasn't done any of that. It just broke out overnight low this morning, hasn't even looked back. So NQ feels more prone to have a big move up here. We'll see. This is our second entry, bearish bar. See how this candle closes. Didn't close on its low. If that would have closed on its low, I'd be shorting. Otherwise, I'm going to be cautious for, again, the potential for a larger correction. Looks like we're getting that on ES. This thing really popped up. We have an inside bar going on NQ. There's our pop up and another higher low too on ES. So I think we might get a larger correction here. Pretty steep move up here. At the top of that channel. I'll be looking for a push down and a lower high below the EMA. Watching for lower highs, watching the EMA. We need to see a move below that. Here's our first lower high. So that'd actually be a great setup if we can get one lower high up here, push below the EMA, get the second on like a break and retest. That's what I'd be looking for. But this thing keeps pushing up right now. On some pretty decent volume too, it looks like. ES is almost back to that key level. We got to draw this uptrend and respect it. Wait till this thing is played out with 2 legs. So we need to see move up, break new high before we start looking at the short. You don't want to trade against the trend, even if it is a counter trend. We have nearly made it back to that key level. NQ also has an uptrend that we need to see resolved first. Want to see us get a break, one more push, and then push down. That's when we'd be looking for shorts. It's still too early to look for longs, so don't do that. Don't do that. Instead of looking for longs, hit the like button on the stream. It's a much better use of your time. Push back above the key level there on ES. All right, we're getting a little push down. Very likely, though, that we will make another attempt at the high of that little channel. So we're waiting for that to happen, and then another push down ultimately is what we would like. That would be the ideal setup. All right, so now we have our uptrend that has played out with 2 legs. We'll be looking for another move down here. Now, is it possible that this just keeps going up in an uptrend? Of course. And we will have to adapt to that if that is the case. But right now, we've had nothing but bearishness overnight and on the open. This is the first break out of that channel. And now this uptrend looks to be played out. So this is kind of the make or break time. We're expecting to see a move down. And if we don't, that's when we'll have to adjust. NQ's in a similar boat. Finally got back to the overnight low there. Yeah, so NQ also has the downtrend's a little bit harder to diagram. It doesn't look great. The channel has a lot of gaps, right? It's got this space right here, got this space right here. It doesn't look great. So we don't have the same kind of wide trend that was obvious on the S&P. However, bias clearly down. NQ is leading the way down this morning. So now this uptrend probably played out. Maybe, maybe not. Not as obviously as the S&P, but if we can get double lower high, that will be the short I am looking for. It's a little bit more clean on ES. We're right back at the EMA right now. EMA is holding a little bit. Again, this is do or die for bulls and bears. If we're going to be bearish, we gotta start dropping now. NQ coming back to the moving average there. Possibility of a downtrend starting to form. We're watching that. S&P is holding the moving average here. Doesn't look like buyers are done, really. They're making an attempt. See how strong the sellers are. The EMA is holding so far. Buyers seem to be fairly interested here at our line in the sand junction. If this does hold and we keep going up, the most likely result of today, we could go and get a gap fill. That could happen. Maybe a gap fill and then maybe just some chop around this level. A downside move was really our best hope for a legitimate trend. But I guess we could get a gap fill, and that would be a decent move up there. We have, 50 points pretty much to a gap fill. Yeah, we might have a little secondary channel here. Yeah, so I still wouldn't really be too interested in taking along, even though, you know, clearly buyers are engaged here simply because of the overall bias. Be It's just a little risky to go against the main trend for the entire day and on the daily chart too. With that said, if we come back and the moving average holds and we get a nice second entry long, I will take it. You know, you got to take the setups when they come, but there are setups that are more preferable to take and some that aren't. So trying to diagram the channel here on NQ. Looks kind of like it's like that. Like this may be the top of it. We'll see. We'll see if sellers are interested at all to push the market down. S&P, watching for that second entry long here, which again, I wouldn't be excited to take, but I will take. Here we go, trying to push below the moving average. NQ short position, I would still be looking for a double lower high. So I want to see one attempt up here, fail, and then like a break and a retest on the moving average, something like that. Okay, here is one bounce off the EMA. If we can come back, get another bullish bar, I will take that long. Okay, cool. So EMA isn't holding. I'm going to be deleting that secondary channel gladly because, again, not the pattern that I was hoping to trade at all. Got a little bit of a move down. Hopefully this can continue and we can get a short set up. But this week should prove to be a very interesting one, as we talked about earlier. Tomorrow we have JOLTS, we have ISM manufacturing, so we got some news coming in, and then on Wednesday. Not a whole lot of scheduled news. However, that is first day of tariffs. Should be interesting. The market is going to definitely be volatile that day. No predictions for me as far as whether we go up or down, but there will be all eyes on the market for sure. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a lower high. This isn't setting up great as a short. One more lower high would be a second entry short, except we already made a new low of that downtrend. Yeah, Morgan, that was a decent. You could take a chance on that one for sure on this double lower high. We did have one lower high here, and that was the second one. Would have had to take some heat. And at that time, the Nasdaq had just bounced off the EMA, so I wasn't too keen on it, but you know, it worked out. So if you were convicted on that towards the downside, not a bad one. If the Nasdaq was printing the same setup at the same time, that would have I would have given it a try for sure. Downtrend possibly played out with the move and a break and a new low. See if we get a bounce. If not, we'll look to widen this trend. NQ downtrend, perhaps starting to get established. All right, I widened the trend on ES there. This is looking good. We'll look for a pullback and a second entry short, especially if we can get below this key level and hold below it. Testing that key level right now. Right, here is our pullback. We'll watch to see if the EMA holds. If we get this pattern, we'll take that short. Looks like we're getting that pullback here. Watch for that moving average to hold. Haven't quite got back there. We do technically have our first attempt lower right here. We ticked below that previous bar, but so far this is visually just looking like one leg back. NQ's not even really pulling back. It's just making another move down here. And if it keeps up, we will look to widen this trend. Right now, we'll keep it narrow. Wait to see what happens next. Still haven't really gotten the pullback on ES here. We're just hanging out right at that key level. NQ, I'm still playing this as if this little move down has had a break in a new low. So we might get a bullish pop here. ES still waiting on the pullback. Looking below that level right now. Strong pullback. Not what you want to see. This needs to have a strong rejection too if it's going to remain legitimate. Didn't quite get back to the moving average. We have a slight break of our channel. NQ still drifting lower. I'm going to start looking at the wider option here. Either way, just waiting for confirmation. Five five six two has been the key level of the day. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, and this is the unbroken low from, again, mid-March. So for sure watching this carefully. Yes, we're just consolidating around the key level right now. Not really a clean pullback we can take. We've just been putting in wicks at the low of this channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different wicks there. This technically already has a break and a new low of the channel, so very hard to short on this setup. Still consolidating right at that area. Wow, big bounce here. Need to see this get smacked down really quick. Right, I like this this bear candle on the EMA for the NQ. One pullback, one rejection. We see that second bear candle right here. That's where I'd be short. See if there's any follow through to the upside on this move up. This move up doesn't have a whole lot of volume, really. So that is one positive thing for the bears. All right, NQ waiting for that second bear candle. Not super hopeful with how much the S&P is bouncing right now. Yeah, S&P is still having a major bounce, so we're going to play this as if the downtrend is played out already. That's what we got on ES as well. Move down, break, new low, and we're bouncing. Very hard to read the bias here. No, nothing solid. That's when we wanted to see the follow through by the sellers. Not great that we bounced at that key level. Quite the move, man. My goodness. And the volume definitely coming in on that one now. NQ as well, getting a nice pop up. Came on some volume. So no real bias for the day now. We're seeing some big swings both ways. Yep, so we're going to have to be patient here, guys. We had a good look to the downside. Some nice selling this morning. The uptrend came and played out. This was the chance for the sellers to capitalize and continue to push down the market. They did not. We launched back above the EMA, so now we are clearly in a mixed trading environment. Same thing happened on ES. We had a really nice looking downtrend. We weathered the pullback, let it play out, looking for the move down. This is when you wanted to see sellers start to follow through. We could have had a great short in here somewhere all the way to the low. Didn't happen. Buyers pushed us back above the moving average, and now we are seeing some movement up and down, above and below the EMA. So likely scenario here is probably a drift higher, honestly. With kind of moves up and down. Maybe we get all the way up till the gap fill, but just not a very strong bias anymore. A bear move for the day was our best chance at some really clean price action. So now we're going to have to play a little bit more defensively. Look for just each individual recent channel. Like right now we got an uptrend. Looks to be reversed though, so we're just going to have to keep following the short-term trends to stay on the right side of the market. And that is the plan for the day. Should be a crazy week, as we've mentioned, so gear up. I hope you guys are all ready. And yeah, looking forward to trading together. So I'll see the IM trading team over in the Discord. Link is below if you want to join us. And we will look for some opportunities today. Should still be some opportunities, even though we're gonna have to play it a little more defensively, a little tighter to the chest. But yeah, we'll get there. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.